Unless you're a professor of architecture, you'll never understand at first glance in the historical center of which European city, which European country you are at the moment. And that is because they are similar to each other. This happened due to the fact that most of the old European cities were founded by ancient Romans, and the ancient Romans usually began to found the city from the central square. Then they built an adjacent street with shops to it. They also immediately erected baths and a little coliseum, just not to be bored. That's what happened in the city of Alba. My friend Fabio will tell you the rest. Well, or as I call him, Signor Encyclopedia.
Our city was founded thousands of years ago, but its flourishing took place during the Roman era. Alba originated as a transit point on the way from Turin to Acqua Terme, an ancient thermal resort known in pre-antiquity. Having come here 200 years before the birth of Christ, the Romans established winemaking. What is interesting is that even in their time, a white truffle grew here. Much later, it brought worldwide fame to our city.
I'll have you know that there are just under 30,000 people living in modern Alba. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce the mayor of Alba, Signor Morello. It's a great honor for me to listen to everything that you usually tell in television interviews in those days when the annual Truffle Fair takes place in Alba.
We are in the building of the mayor's office, located on the main square of our city. The population of Alba is a little less than 30,000 people. However, at least 1 million tourists from all over the world come to us every year. They come to visit our main event. I'm very glad that this year you also visited us.
And now attention, a completely unique event. The International Festival of White Truffle takes place in Alba every year from early October to the end of November. This year it is the celebration number 86, so we go there. Liliana, I know there's a wonderful tradition in Alba. When a real star like Alfred Hitchcock, Marilyn Monroe, or Nikita Khrushchev comes here, they're usually given the biggest truffle. I want to ask, where is my truffle?
You're right. This is such a tradition. I'm glad to welcome you to Alba, and since you're here, here is your truffle.
And that's all?
Yes. As far as I know, you are a star only in Russia. But I wish you to become an international star of the Marilyn Monroe level. And when you do, welcome to us again, and you'll receive our biggest white truffle, like this one.
Well, when I become as famous as Marilyn Monroe, you'll send me such a truffle yourself. This truffle costs 4,500 euros for 1 kilo. It weighs 256 grams. The price of this wonderful piece is 1,156. For some reason, it changes right before our eyes. 152 euros? Not bad. And how's the price for a truffle formed at a particular moment?
The price for white truffles varies from year to year. It depends directly on how many white truffles we have mined, from their size and shape. The larger the size and the more correct the shape is, the higher the price.
Oh, Signora Liliana, if you only knew what a pleasure it is to listen to a beautiful woman, to stand here and smell the truffle, but I need to work. Could you recommend the places that should be visited in this market so that I wouldn't waste my time?
The products of all the sellers at our market is certified. All the truffles are equally good. In case you want to learn more about them, talk to our appraisers. And you must visit our tasting counters where you can try truffle products.
So, this is the truffle that was presented to me. This is the biggest truffle of this year, which will be given to me when I become as popular as Marilyn Monroe. There is room for my improvement. Grazie mille.
And thank you. And be sure to return to us as an international star. We'll wait for you.
When you're surrounded by mushrooms, something from the Russian poetry comes to your mind. And who are the judges? And the judges are here.
Roberta, how it seems to me you're pretty young to be a judge, isn't it?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm just 20.
Just 20, and you know everything about truffles?
Everything.
Explain me, what should person to know to estimate truffles the right way?
Okay, so the truffles the truffles must have a particular color.
Yep.
They must be pale yellow. Then, first of all, they must be hard, so not soft. Then,
How it seems to me is how to explain a smell of truffle to somebody who never tasted truffle.
it's very difficult. It must smell honey, wet earth, mushrooms.
What should you do to become a judge?
Well, there are some classes, so just after a great experience you can become a truffle judge.
And can you advise me where I can buy best truffles here as a judge? Because how it seems to me, you have to know that.
Here there are the hunters, so you are pretty sure that they have
If you are a beginner gourmet, here is my good advice. Come to this fair in a gas mask, because the first thing that will face you here will be the strongest mixture of smells of truffle and cheese. If you're unaccustomed to this, you might feel dizzy. And now look, it took only a couple of minutes from the moment of the beginning of this fair, and the whole place is already the real truffle fever. If you try a truffle for the first time in your life, to tell you the truth, you can be a bit sickened, but the truffle has a feature. The more you eat it, the more it starts to please you. Local sellers are very well aware of this. Therefore, the beginners get acquainted with the truffle by getting a sandwich smeared with butter or honey with the smell of a truffle, and after that, you cannot get away from this taste anywhere. It's terrific. The truffle has a feature. It enhances the taste of everything it's added to. That is, if you have ever tried an ordinary Italian pesto, this is one taste. But here's a pesto with a truffle. It's something very deliciously delicious. It's time to move on to the people who mine truffles with the help of their dogs. These are the famous Italian truffalaus, and they get together somewhere in that area of the market. Let's go to them. Here they are, the famous white truffles from Alba. Let's look at the prices. Note that the top line is the price of a particular truffle. The second line is its weight. The third is the price for 100 grams. In different cases, the price for 100 grams is different. It depends on the size. The bigger the truffle, the higher it is. And these are the famous truffalaus from Alba, the people who harvest truffles with their own hands. Buongiorno, signor.
Ciao, ciao. I want to show you who called me yesterday. This is my old acquaintance.
Okay, Capello?
Capello.
Fabio Capello.
Fabio Capello. He always buys white truffles only from me, ever since he lived and worked in Turin. He always calls and asks me to leave him some good truffles.
My friend, you can call him back and say that he's not a very good coach. To find a truffle in the forest, to buy it at the market or in the store is a half of the battle, my friends. The second half of work is to cook it correctly. The best chef of Alba, Signor Andrea, will tell us how to do it. I hope he's an expert in truffles. Signor Andrea, so how to cook a truffle and not spoil it?
Cooking a white truffle is very simple. It should be thinly cut into one or another dish, and that's it. Another thing is how to keep it in perfect condition. To do this, you'd better wrap the truffle in a thin layer of paper. And if you aren't going to eat it within the next couple of days, the paper needs to be changed as often as possible.
Signor Andrea, do you know any Russian dish where you can add a truffle?
Frankly speaking, I don't really know Russian cuisine. But you eat an omelet, don't you? An omelet with truffles is an excellent dish.
Well, if you're thinking of making an omelet with truffles, I think it should be cooked from Fabergé eggs. Signor Andrea, how many truffle dishes can you cook? And what is the most popular truffle dish in Alba?
I know many recipes of dishes from truffles, but the most popular among us is pasta with truffles, of course. I'll make it for you right now.
So it's over here. Signora Andrea, well, I see spaghetti here. And where is the truffle? That's it. Well, say bon appetit.
Buono appetito.
For some reason, I want to say merci beaucoup. My dear friends, if you try to feel the taste of the freshly mined truffle, that's to my taste, to my nose, you will most likely feel a brightly expressed scent of black soil. Some gourmets even feel notes of acetone in this fragrance. Can you imagine? There are such gourmets, but if truffles are added to a dish in the right proportion, then the dish immediately acquires a divine taste. I would say, of course, that this is a long-forgotten taste of childhood, with the only difference being that I had a different childhood. You know, friends, if you like mushrooms, imagine an ideal mushroom taste multiplied by 147, and you'll get the taste of the spaghetti I'm eating right now. And finally, here are some more valuable tips for all of you, my dear hereditary and beginner gourmets. Remember once and for all, you can try the white truffle from Alba in only 3 months a year, from the beginning of October to the end of December. It's in these days that it's mined. The truffle can be stored for only 7 days, after which it loses all its taste. Therefore, if you're offered a truffle at some other time, remember that they're trying to cheat you. And now let's talk about prices. In the season, you can buy a white truffle in Moscow, but remember that the price for 100 grams in Moscow restaurants can go up to 2,000 euros in rubles. Don't look for a white truffle in Turin. You'd better limit yourself to spiritual repast. Look at the Shroud of Turin. The energy is fantastic. It acts even on those who don't believe in anything. At the famous fair of white truffles in Alba, the price for 100 grams of this delicacy is tastier. On average, it's 400 euros, but personally, I recommend you to go for a night hunt for a truffle accompanied by a truffle owl and his faithful dogs. Then everything that you get will be yours. You will only have to pay for his services. There's another way to get a white truffle. You can get it as a present, but then you need to be meat. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Ciao ragazzi!